WNBA drama heats up again. Just when you thought the drama had settled, Angel Reese is back in the spotlight, this time over a viral workout session. Her former teammate Brianna Turner was spotted training with none other than Caitlin Clark, a player many consider public enemy no. 1. And let's just say, Reese wasn't thrilled. Was it a betrayal, a jealous reaction, or just classic social media pettiness? We're breaking down the online chaos and fan reactions. #WNBA, #Angel Reese, #Caitlin Clark, #basketball drama original.
Has arrived in Indiana. ESPN says Caitlin Clark is not a top 5 player. The New York Liberty are creating a super team, and Unrivaled crowns their very first champions. You guys, there is so much to talk about today, so let's jump right in.
Reese's Hall of Fame-worthy meltdown, move over. Julius Caesar, this might be the biggest betrayal yet. Angel Reese just got a reality check as Brianna Turner leaves her behind, officially linking up with Caitlin Clark. And honestly, who didn't see this coming? While Reese is busy stirring up drama, Turner and Clark are thriving, proving that talent and teamwork might just outshine ego. Who knew, right? #WNBA, #Angel Reese, #Caitlin Clark, #basketball drama, #sports.
Oh, lads, it's looking like the Indiana Fever have signed a perfect player to have beside Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Dwana Bonner, Tasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull. Who else? Sydney Colson still on this team, Damaris Dantas, and whoever they draft in the second round.
Reese's latest meltdown, pure comedy gold. If WNBA drama was a sitcom, this would be the season finale. Angel Reese is livid. After realizing Brianna Turner would rather train with, of all people, Caitlin Clark. The irony? Clark's skills make Reese's so-called dominance look like a casual YMCA pickup game. Call it karma, call it poetic justice. Either way, it's being served ice cold. #WNBA, #Angel Reese, #Caitlin Clark, #basketball drama, #poetic justice.
And of course you have Caitlin. Like, she had such a phenomenal rookie season, so many great accolades, and I think the jumping from season 1 to season 2, players can also make a really big jump, so I'm excited to see her growth from year 1 and year 2, and she hasn't reached her ceiling yet either, so I'm really excited to watch her growth as well.
Talk about you on the court. Like, what sort of attributes do you think you're going to bring, and where?
Reese might have thought Brianna Turner would always stay in her shadow. But surprise, Turner bolted faster than fans at an Angel Reese autograph session. Turns out, entitlement, death stares, and main character energy don't exactly make you teammate of the year. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is proving that talent and humility win every time. Who would have guessed?
A workout video with Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark. Now, this is the first video where we've seen 2 players working out together from this team, so I want to live react to it with you guys. So obviously Coach KP is there. I feel like he never leaves the gym. You have Caitlin coming across the screen for a 3. It looks like with all of these, they're working on a screen and roll with Brianna.
Watching Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark click so effortlessly is a beautiful thing, well, unless you're Angel Reese. Her shock over this betrayal is about as surprising as someone getting zapped after sticking their finger in an outlet. At some point, you'd think she'd realize that arrogance isn't exactly the secret to team chemistry. Now, while Turner and Clark are out here running a masterclass in teamwork, Reese is probably off scribbling a petty comeback or rehearsing her next meltdown. Can you imagine the disbelief? How dare they choose talent and cooperation over my endless drama? The audacity. Meanwhile, Turner and Clark are moving like a perfectly synchronized dance duo, while Reese looks more like someone tripping over themselves and insisting it was intentional. Sure, Angel, we totally believe you. 1 minute, she's acting like the face of women's basketball. The next, she's watching from the sidelines, bitterly realizing she got outplayed both on and off the court. It's basically the sports version of seeing your ex thrive in a new relationship Except this time, everyone saw it coming.
I think I'm really just like a calming presence. I feel like I never get too high or get too low. People are like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I'm like, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. Like, I feel like I'm really an observer. But I am really competitive as well. I like to run the floor, like to play defense, like to win. And I think the Fever was a place to be if I wanted to win.
Angel Reese could try something revolutionary like humility. Wild concept, right? Imagine putting the team first, sharing the spotlight, and not treating every game like a personal showcase for how intimidating you are. But of course, that's asking a lot from someone whose entire brand is built on ego and theatrics. Meanwhile, Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark have officially become basketball's newest dynamic duo, while Reese is left wondering why no one wants to play in her sandbox anymore. Spoiler, it's hard to keep friends when you won't stop throwing sand. And let's not forget Turner used to throw subtle shade at Clark. But now, they're basically besties, running drills, plotting world domination in Indiana, and turning Reese into the ultimate third wheel. It's like finding out you're Regina George, only to realize you were Gretchen Wieners all along. Tragic.
Say for WNBA players, they should all stay off the tweet. If they can stay off Twitter, if that's the thing, if you can stay off Twitter and you're a Fever player, you're gonna do well. You're gonna do really, really well. But yeah, obviously she's done that. She's turned off replies, and with that being said, like, she is an unbelievable defender.
Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark teaming up feels like that classic teen movie moment when the rivals realize they're better off without the drama queen. And who's left in the dust? Angel Reese, once the center of attention, now fading into irrelevance like a canceled Netflix show. You almost feel bad for her watching Turner and Clark buddy up. Almost. But then you remember the endless pouting, over-the-top theatrics, and tantrums that make toddlers look emotionally stable. Suddenly, any sympathy vanishes faster than Reese's credibility. Honestly, Turner deserves an Oscar for pretending her past shade at Clark never happened. And Clark probably just shrugged and thought, if it annoys Angel Reese, I'm in her. Meanwhile, you know Reese is somewhere furiously sut-weeding, dropping passive-aggressive Instagram stories, and insisting she doesn't care while very clearly caring way too much. It's the basketball version of realizing your ex-best friend unfollowed you on social media. You act like you didn't notice, but let's be real, you're definitely crying into your overpriced iced coffee.
I don't want there to be any team situations where you're coming between the Indiana Fever and that locker room, girl. I'm gonna make that very clear. I don't want to see that at all. So once again, you cleaned it up. You mentioned Caitlin Clark. You mentioned she hasn't hit her ceiling as well. But she is the offense here. She is the number one option. She is the franchise player. And I think you need to give recognition to that.
Indiana just pulled the ultimate upgrade, swapping a soap opera diva for a real dynamic duo. Angel Reese, once convinced she ruled her little basketball kingdom, has officially been replaced faster than a smartphone after a new update. Imagine going from thinking you're the Beyoncé of the WNBA to realizing you're actually Michelle, slowly fading into the background while Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark steal the show. That's got to sting worse than a missed free throw in a championship game. Something Reese is all too familiar with. Did Angel see this coming? Probably not. She spent so long assuming the basketball world revolves around Planet Reese that the idea of teammates moving on must feel like a personal betrayal. But let's be real, her ego has definitely already spun this into some dramatic conspiracy theory about sabotage. Spoiler alert, it's not sabotage. People just prefer teammates who don't come with non-stop drama.
And at her peak, she's been one of the best top 5 defenders in the WNBA, and this is exactly what the Fever need. The Fever need defense on their bench. They don't need a scorer. They don't need somebody to go and take 20 shots a game. They don't even need someone to average 5 points per game. They literally need somebody that goes out there, knows their role, sets screens, rolls to the basket, shoots 50% on layups, can score a couple of fast break layups by just outrunning their matchup, gets rebounds and block shots.
Angle Reese, the self-proclaimed queen, keeps losing teammates. Faster than a reality star loses endorsements. Imagine being so unbearable that your own teammates are secretly Googling escape routes mid-season. But Brianna Turner, she didn't just leave, she leveled up. Instead of playing sidekick in Reese's weekly drama fest, Turner upgraded to championship dreams alongside Caitlin Clark. That's not just a move, that's an evolution. Going from Angel's chaotic empire to Clark's court is like trading a tricycle for a Tesla. Let's be honest, Reese losing teammates is about as surprising as rain being wet. But watching them sprint straight into Clark's open arms, now that's poetic justice. It's like ditching a knockoff handbag for the real deal. Even Reese's most loyal fans have to be wondering, maybe, just maybe, loyalty doesn't mean putting up with weekly tantrums fit for reality TV. At this rate, if Reese keeps driving players away, the team bus might be empty enough for her and her ego to finally stretch out.
That all these people who hated the Indiana Fever last year is finally coming around to sign with the team. Go figure. Now, I don't know the whole initial thing about this signing, maybe for depth, defensive purposes, but it is funny to see how what a year make when the Indiana Fever is one of the, not one, but is the top team in the WNBA.
Brianna Turner's revelation was so blindingly obvious. You'd think heavenly light shined down the moment she saw Caitlin Clark draining threes. Like it was second nature. In that instant, she must have thought, wait, basketball can actually be fun. Leaving Angel Reese for Clark is like finally escaping an endless family Thanksgiving. Awkward, tense, and a huge relief once it's over. Turner probably sprinted away so fast, she left skid marks on the hardwood. And oh, the irony, Angel Reese, self-declared basketball royalty, getting ditched by teammates willing to risk public ridicule just for a shot at playing with Clark. Imagine the internal struggle, like choosing between a 5-star luxury resort or a shady motel bragging about free Wi-Fi. Tough call, right? Let's be honest, who wouldn't trade weekly tantrums for actual teamwork? That's like picking between microwaved leftovers and a Michelin star meal. Poor Angel, always the bridesmaid. Actually, scratch that, always the uninvited guest peeking in from the outside. And you know it's eating her alive to watch Turner thrive on a championship-level team without her. Maybe it's time for Reese to take some literal notes. Step 1. Stop scaring teammates away. Step 2. Try being more like Caitlin Clark. Harsh maybe, but the truth stings almost as much as watching